I woke up this morning looking like a Who from Whoville. Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. So we are in the 8235R right now. I'm going to fill it up for Dad. So Dad is going to be taking this out to my place, and he's going to be working in all of the ground that we're going to be planting today. So the 46 is hooked up to the planter, and we're going to start planting soybeans. I don't see the JCB around yet. We might have to go out and grab that. So last year I bought the VT. It started as a demo from Earthmaster in 2016, but the 5 years came and we decided that we really like it, so I decided that I wanted to keep it, so I bought it. Since we have everything chiseled up, the only thing that we really need to do is follow up with the VT. It's got the rolling basket on the back, and we found that it makes a really nice seed bed. So Dad's gonna be taking this out, and he's gonna be working ground ahead of the planter. Travis and I are gonna get the planter running after I fill this up with fuel, and we're gonna start planting soybeans. Yeah, I see that. Put it not up.
We run this, you took that globe off the other day. The thing was beeping and buzzing and driving me nuts. It's okay for using it. When you're not using it, it's very irritating.
Oh, where it was just going boop, boop.
Yeah, every time I cross the border or whatever.
Oh, yeah, you can turn that off.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
Travis will get me and you wonder not to shut it off, so you took the globe off.
Yeah, I'm sure I can figure it out playing with it, but I always forget. Let's get this party started. I came out here with him so that I could grab the JCB, because the Bobcat doesn't have enough lifting capacity to be able to lift the soybean boxes up onto the tender, safely anyway. We tried doing that in the past before we had the JCB, and it really requires some finessing with the Bobcat and a little bit of luck. So it's always better just to have the JCB over there. You sure you want to use that ball? This hitch? It's bent down. Oh! Soybean seed is back here in the shed. We gotta pull stuff out so we can get to it. See, what we're having here is, because those pallets are longer than the pallets of my dad, they stick out through this box, which isn't a problem when you're setting the one on, but when he comes on with the next one, he's gonna have to make sure the pallets aren't sticking out too far, otherwise the pallets will end up jousting this box. And then what I had to do, I had to tell him,
is that he couldn't have, set all my stuff down, he couldn't actually have the pallet or this Pro Box right up against the back of the pallets either, because then you're hitting this right here. So it's a balancing act of making sure you have it just right so you're not hitting anything. And you are noticing that the slide gates are labeled on these boxes because you need the gate to be where you can actually open them up. Don't ask us how we figured that out the hard way, because nothing's more frustrating than being as far away from the home farm or the loader as you can get, and then finding out that you have to go all the way back home just to get the skid steer to switch the box around. So once again, you can see the pallets on all the way through. That looks pretty good. Down. Awesome. Now I'm glad we're actually going with this route with the Pro Box tender versus what we did, or what we had when we initially started doing soybeans, when we had the bulk tender, where that is the tender where they would actually dump the seeds into it for us, and then we had to go back to the co-op to get them filled up. The reason it's nice doing the Pro Boxes is because all of our seed that we're planting is currently on the farm. And just like what we're doing, where we're starting looking at, well, we're looking down the barrel of the weekend. It can be kind of a challenge finding somebody that's there on the weekends. At least it was before. And just trying to coordinate with people to actually get our seed. And then you always have to have that safety feature to make sure that these can't go anywhere. And we're good to go.
We got the beans loaded on the tender. We're gonna spread out the planter and fill up the boxes. You may notice that we got larger seed boxes on the planter this year. So hopefully that means less fill ups and more time saved. Tells me that's not going to fly well. We grab a zip tie and zip tie that up.
Those, or the ones that are on the tender, are currently the ones that need to go to your farm. I could plant your place yet tonight, as long as you can get it worked.
Let's not talk about that. We always forget to close the trap on the seed tender auger every year. I don't think we've never not spilled the first time we've used it, so. We got the boxes filled up, partly. We didn't fill them up all the way, because we're gonna run our first test. So he's getting the monitor set up. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna actually be going out to my place, but we're gonna be trying it out here just in case there's anything major that we need to fix. We can just pull it up into the shed if we got to. But hopefully it goes pretty smoothly. The reason that we can't start here, even though this is all worked down already, is that the seed that is in these boxes has to go out to my place. And the seed that's supposed to go here are in those bags, those seed bags, which are large squares. They're about the same size as these. We got a bunch of those delivered, so we have to get the seeds out of the seed boxes, and then once these are empty, we'll take those seed bags and open the bottoms of them and dump them into here, and then load these up on top. So that's why we're starting out there. We gotta wait for Dad to get ahead before we can head out. So now's a good time to make sure it's working properly. So it blows me away that people actually ask this, but these marker arms are meant to mark the next pass. We don't necessarily need them because we have RTK in the tractor, but it's really nice to be able to see where you're going to end up next. So you'll see us use them off and on. What kind of depth are we aiming for? 1.5 inches? Yeah. I'd say that's that.
As low as I'd like, but
Well, that's what I noticed over there, is that there's a couple basically right underneath the soil.
we do it every single year. Oh my gosh, but you gotta understand, I'm also planting at 166,000. And everything has to be shined up yet. This. It's about how you want it. You want to find them without disturbing them. And like I said, you can sit and nitpick all you want. I mean, this is putting my hand down on the soil. I compressed it now, but my hand down on the soil where it's still about 1.5 inches. And the thing is, your viewers need to remember when they're seeing this is the fact that we are going through and harrowing this out to help smooth out the field yet. So you got to compensate a little bit for the soil that's going to be on top of them yet. So that's where I've always planted them. And the big thing is I'm making sure that it's getting them to depth, because we did go through and do the seed disc openers and the gauge wheels, or the gauge arms. When you first start the planter off, you got to make sure that it's actually planting, which is essentially what we always do. You got to go through and dig up every single row, which it's not very hard to do. Make sure that you're getting your depth. I mean, we got the airbag system. It's not bulletproof. I mean, there's going to be some variation with the way our planter is set up, but the way I've had it set up in previous years, that's how I'm running it right now. I'm going to be happy with the results we get. The big thing is getting it in the ground and really just getting it out of the ground. It's probably the most stress you have initially, is just making sure that that seed is going to grow. I mean, the big thing, we changed out the closing wheels. Was there's a 6 bushel difference compared to the copperheads versus the Schleigels we ran last year. So I went through and just did Schleigels across the rest of the planter. I also like it because it's got a wider footprint. As you can see, it's about as wide as my hand versus like even the rubber closing wheels, where your area is just trying to press that opening, the seed trench closed, when this is actually compressing the sidewalls and helping destroy sidewall compaction. So changes every year, try to improve on. First and foremost, I'm going to crank the pressure up, and you actually go through here, because here's the actual top of the soil. And that's right just under 1.5 inches. So I'm actually going to ramp the pressure up quick. It's got to shine everything up, so it's going to turn harder. Hey! What did we mess up here? Oh boy.
Unfortunately, I have to split this video into 2 parts to make it a little bit easier to edit. So part 2 is going to be coming out very soon. Be sure to stay tuned. Anyway, I'll see you next time, guys.